What's up, degenerates? Mad Merrigan here for Cold Bear Sports. Good morning. It is none other than the morning of the Galway Plate. So I said I would dig a little deeper and let's just give the race the credit it deserves because it is a whopper. So let's just touch on a few of the runners and riders. And yeah, look, I was chatting to Micky D last night as well, and just we didn't get to do a preview this week for whatever reason, one reason or the other. But I have a few selections here from him. He said he likes one, two, three, four horses today, so I'll give you them as well at the end. But let's just touch on the Galway Plate, and Micky D has a selection in here, and we'll come to him in a second. Right, we have the shunter here that heads the market for Emmett Mullins. What a young trainer Emmett is. Absolutely phenomenal. He shows that no matter what type of race he targets, his horses are never too far away, and anytime he targets a race, it tends to work out for him. This horse was a very stylish winner in Cheltenham and given a very, very good ride by young Jordan Gameford that day. He looked a little bit out of sorts his last run, but I think the track mightn't have suited, and not only that, he had a busy spring. Could he be still well handicapped? Quite possibly. Is he your most strapping natural tracer? No, but definitely a decent horse. He certainly doesn't look the scopiest in these races the last couple of times, but definitely a horse and probably a worthy favourite, I suppose, given the connections it's coming from with Simon Torrance in the saddle as well. Right, Royal Rendezvous, is it Rendezvous or Rendezvous? Whatever it is, Paul Townend takes the ride for Willie Mullins. I think this horse was placed in this race last year. He might have been second. A little bit of money coming for him, 8-1 into 13-2. Definitely has to be respected coming from the camp. Willie Mullins, you have Den Koshari. This is a horse a lot of lads have been talking up. I think he disappointed in this race last year. 10 stone 6 Brian Hayes in the saddle. How nice would it be to see him running a race? Now the next horse is a very interesting horse as well, Top Moon. Got his act together the last day, got the win, won well, won snugly. He could be nicely handicapped, 10 stone 9. I see the money's coming from Mark Walsh in the saddle for Joseph O'Brien. So Top Moon is definitely an intriguing runner. Off you go, trained by Cottle Burns. Jody McGarvey, what a year Jody's having. So really, really interesting horse. The only thing is about Off You Go, I don't think he jumps fences quite as fluent as you'd want one to. So definitely a horse which has some ability. I think he won a couple of really good handicap hurdles, this horse, if my memory serves me correct. But I just think over fences, I think he lacks a bit of fluency when jumping. Right, let's move to the next one. Sampato, or however you pronounce it. Aidan Coleman comes over here to take the ride for Henry de Bromhead. Now, this is definitely interesting. Aidan has teamed up with Henry to win many a big race, albeit the Cheltenham on the mare, can't think of her name, or Put the Kettle On, winning the champion chase in the Arkle. So definitely an interesting horse. Brahma Bull, this is a horse I tipped up in Punchestown. Really, really decent horse, but I just don't know if this test will suit him. Jack Foley getting the 7 off can only be a plus, but what a touch we had off this horse in Punchestown at 20-1 or whatever price. He was a big price, and it was nice to tip him up. Right, Modus is a horse. He's an old-timer, but look, he was a likeable horse. He was highly thought of for a while. He changed a few camps. He ended up with Paul Nicholls for most of his latter stages, but he was pretty decent in bumpers and things like that. Could I see him winning it? He'd have to pull out a career best, albeit he has a very, very good jockey on board. Darragh O'Keefe, definitely a jockey you want on side if you are a punter. Then you have is it Anamix or Animix? Animix will go with Patrick Mullins. Look, this horse promised to be a lot better, I think, than it's shown. When it first came, I think it was a big talking horse. We just double check it is, if it is the one that made its debut in Limerick. I think when it came around the Christmas time. I just want to double check that, but I think when it came, yeah, that's it. It came to Limerick, Paul Town. It was 4-6 on, and it got beaten. Yeah, that's it. Finished second. So look, this was definitely a big talking horse. And when it came that time in Limerick, it was well backed, and there was a lot of a reputation. I remember it getting beat. But definitely an interesting runner today. 11-3, Patrick Mullins riding for Willie. So could be one to keep an eye on. Assemble, Shane Fitzgerald and Joseph O'Brien. Now, Assemble needs to get his jumping together, but Shane Fitzgerald's having a good time, but he's ridden some nice winners. So if he could get his act together, getting the valuable 7 off can only be a help. Now, the interesting horse here is Battle Over Diane. Obviously, he's a excuse me, he's a very good horse. However, he doesn't tend to be the same in the spring. He's dynamite in the autumn. But they're meeting, as I said yesterday on the video, they're meeting halfway in July now. So he's coming out in the summer. So it's very interesting for me to see how this horse is. The weight won't matter to him. He's a monster. 11.8 shouldn't matter. He's just, if he's on song, he's on song. He's that kind of horse. And I know weight will stop trains. Well, this fella would carry me around 15 stone around the gallop. No bother. I've had the pleasure of riding this horse a good few times. He's just a big, he's the most athletic, balanced, well-balanced big horse you've ever ridden when he's galloping, when he's on song. So really interesting if he comes back to his kind of autumn campaign form. Right, then we have an interesting runner for me, Drasso, but he's drifting like heck. Yes, the test mightn't suit him, but this horse, lads, is in the form of his life. He's 22 to 1. He's after drifting like a barge from 14s. Luke Dempsey in the saddle, and I don't know why the drift is. Maybe it's the big field, maybe it's a different test, but this horse's form this year, he's done nothing wrong. He's been rock solid, so definitely an interesting runner at a massive price. And Luke won the race, I think, a couple of years ago as well, if my memory serves me correctly. Then we have Live, Love, Laugh, something a lot of people need to do a bit more. Right, Sean O'Keefe, definitely a horse. Did this horse put in a dynamite display? Was that over I think it was over the national fences. I think this horse was dynamite that day. Was that it? He went off in front and jumped like a buck and was gone. Snugsburgh's Hall definitely was talented, and look, wouldn't be out of it. 10 stone 6. Definitely a horse that he showed a bit of, he's won sometimes very, very classy. I think that's the horse that got brought out one day in Punchestown or Fairy House. He was travelling really well and he got brought out through the wing at the second last. Right, Home by the Lee. JJ Slevin takes the ride for Joseph O'Brien. 25 to 1. Definitely would have to pick up its form to be winning this. Mitchouka, right, we come to Micky D selection. I'll just make sure we have it here. Mitchouka, Ricky Doyle, Grand National winning jockey riding for Jared O'Loughlin. So definitely an interesting horse. He's a bonny little horse. I've actually sat on this horse a while ago. Not in recent times, but when he was younger, I've ridden him. If I remember correctly, he's not overly big. He's just a nice bonny horse. But a good little horse, had some really rock solid form, and definitely a horse that could be a lively outsider, albeit a big field over fences around here. You know, you want your horse to be able to boss his position a bit. Sam Crow, the mighty Sam Crow, 9-year-old, but Jordan Gameford getting off a valuable 5. There's no doubt about it. If Sam Crow showed up in top form, he'd definitely be a player. We just don't know what Sam Crow's going to show up. I see he has a tongue tie and pieces on for the first time. I'd say he might have had a tongue tie before. Maybe it's the pieces for the first time. But Easy Game, Brian Cooper, definitely an interesting one. Was looking like a good novice and wants a Snow Falcon. Look, this horse just, he runs his races, but just surely isn't good enough to win it, but definitely can run all right. The West Awake, this horse last year, lads, I thought I was going to collect. I backed him at massive prices. I think it was 80 to 1, 66 to 1, all these big prices. I was sitting in a pub in a restaurant in Newcastle West, and I was watching the race. And I thought I was going to win the whole way. This horse was trucking on the bridle. I really thought I was going to have a fucking, I can't remember the, I got the boost. That's what it was. At the time I was betting, and Paddy Powers gave a boost, and I took the 80 to 1 boost, and I backed him at 66 as well. And I thought I was going to be collecting. This horse was trucking everywhere, and then just weakened over. Finished 4th or 5th up the hill then. Vision Man, definitely a horse that has to step up to higher levels than he's been competing. But Mikey O'Connor getting 7 off, and it's a Henry de Bromhead. Definitely can't be ruled out. And Ben Dundee, Dennis O'Regan taking the ride on the outsider of the field. But Dennis, no stranger to winning this race, won it back in the day on the great Ansar. So look, that's the Galway Plate. It's a really, really interesting race. Look, Micky D likes Mitchouka. I've gone with Girasso. Like, I don't know why he's drifting. It doesn't bode well for me, but I will give a chance to Battle Over Dion and Girasso, because Battle Over Dion in the autumn is a very, very good horse. And whatever happens to this horse, he never carried his form to the spring. Never. He just never did it. He never did it over hurdles. He never did it over fences. And I don't know why that is. So he's coming out a couple of months earlier than usual. But when this horse makes his debut every year, I think he wins every time he comes back. So let's see. But he's definitely interesting. And like I said, he's such a monster, the weight. He's just one horse that could carry the weight, and that's what you'll be thinking. So Girasso each way and Battle Over Dion each way, albeit Battle Over Dion will have to run to that form late in the year. Kashari's definitely interesting. The Shunter is well handicapped, or is he well handicapped? I don't know, but the Top Moon could be well handicapped. Interesting race in Coma. I don't know. Look, enjoy whatever you're backing, but definitely one I am very, very interested in seeing. And I'll have a few euros each way on Girasso and a few euros each way on Battle Over Dion. And I have Jack Kennedy on my side and Luke Dempsey. Two very hungry, good young jockeys. What more do you want in a big race like this? Yeah, so Micky D's other selections, lads, I'm just going to run them through if you want them. Best of luck to young Ross Sugrue riding today in Galway, an amateur jockey from County Kerry, from the hills of Tralee, riding his 2 rides there today in the bumpers and that. So best of luck, Ross. Hope you get on well. Right, Micky D's then in Galway, the 6:45. We just pull up the race, lads, and we'll get the correct selections for you. So I think it's Jessica Harrington, ridden by Simon Torrance. Is it Guiri? I can't pronounce this now, lads. As you all know, I left school because I was too good at picking winners. Right, it's 7-1 there. Number 1 in the 6:45. Simon Torrance, Jessica Harrington, JP McManus. Micky D likes that. I think he could like it each way, lads. I'll just double check. I think he was a pint each or something like that each way. Then he was Siskany in the first race at Newbury. So yeah, check it out. He likes Siskany in the first race at Newbury. I have put up a different horse in that on the service. So we will be clashing there. And let's just look at the 7:15, because I think Micky D has another horse here, Tiger Voice, a horse I really like, a horse Darragh O'Keefe gave a brilliant ride to win in Punchestown the last day. And this horse definitely can step up. When we talk about having upside, here's a kind of horse that is a 6-year-old. He could be still improving. And when the likes of Star Max and Rhea Time are behind you in the betting, like Rhea Time is 11-2 second favourite. Star Max is no disrespect to them. They're okay of horses, but we've seen them. We know what they are. There's nothing hidden. Where Tiger Voice could take a massive step forward. So he's interesting. Grange Walk in off the bottom weight. He's a horse I might have a look at each way here, but Tiger's Voice definitely rock solid. So Micky D selection, Mitchouka in the big one, the Galway plate in the 6:45, the Simon Torrance, Jessica Harrington's, whatever you pronounce it, Guiri, and in the 7:15, Tiger Voice and Siskany. So each way Mitchouka in the Gold Cup, I think he might be each way most of anything that's bigger than the 5 or 6-1. I think he was each way, and the rest were win. All right, lads, I hope you enjoyed my quick preview of the Galway plate. I hope you back the winner of it, and hope you get plenty of money. Right, the time for Codden is over.